Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm bringing you a brand new video, telling a heartbreaking yet deeply moving story of forgiveness between Lythieuca and Officer Hùng. As many of you already know, Hung's mother, a woman once consumed by hatred and selfishness, had always opposed her son's love for Lythieuca. She not only spoke cruel words but even went as far as to harm Lythieuca, causing her to nearly lose her life in an incident that shocked the entire village. Blinded by greed and resentment, she later mortgaged the family's house and fell into heavy debt, leaving Hùng to carry the burden of both the financial ruin and the pain of losing the home he had worked so hard to build. But in the end, the truth always comes to light. While plotting yet another scheme to hurt Lythieuca, she was finally caught by the police. With solid evidence gathered, the woman was arrested and brought to justice. So after all this, how will Hùng face his own mother? And Lythieuca, the woman who endured so much pain, can she truly forgive the person who once tried to destroy her? Stay tuned and watch the full video to discover the dramatic twists and emotional moments of this story. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below to discuss the touching ending of Hùng and Lythieuca's journey together. After months of hiding, Hung's mother finally reappeared. She walked along the red dirt road where countless memories once lingered. Her worn, weary face was deeply etched with lines of time. Her shirt was faded, her plastic sandals nearly worn through, and in her trembling hand she clutched a small bag. Her back hunched under the pale glow of the setting sun. Her lost, wandering eyes moved from house to house, from row to row of beetle palms, as if searching for something long buried in the forgotten corners of her past. No one in the village recognized her anymore, this woman who had once been so strict, so harsh, the one who had scolded her own son for falling in love. Now, she was but a shadow, frail, broken, and haunted by fear and regret that stretched endlessly through her days. During her months on the run, she survived on the mercy of strangers, sometimes sharing a cold bowl of rice, sometimes sleeping under a torn tent at the edge of the forest. At night, the sound of a passing motorbike or a dog barking would make her heart pound wildly, thinking the police had found her. There were nights she could not sleep, sitting in the darkness, clutching her head as the sound of crickets echoed from the fields, and tears rolled down her wrinkled cheeks. In her mind, there was only one image, Hùng. Her gentle son, the one who had once knelt down begging her not to hurt Lythieuca. The son she had driven into debt, homelessness, and despair. She wanted to come back, to say a single word of apology, but fear held her back. Fear of facing her child. Fear of seeing the disappointment in his eyes. One late season afternoon, gray clouds drifted lazily across the sky, and the wind whispered through the old bamboo grove. She walked down the narrow lane leading to Lythieuca's house, the place where so many painful memories had taken root. The blue iron gate was new and clean, a stark contrast to the chaos of the past. On the porch, a small beetle palm tree stood proudly, its young leaves green and fresh, the very kind of tree she herself had once chopped down in a fit of blind rage. She stopped. Her eyes lingered on the dewdrops clinging to the leaves. A long silence passed before her trembling, wrinkled hand reached out to touch the cold ground. Her voice broke, just a whisper to herself. If only I hadn't done that back then. The evening breeze blew, scattering strands of her gray hair. She looked up at the warm, light-filled house where laughter echoed faintly from inside, her heart growing heavier with every sound. She only wanted to see Lythieuca once more, just to know the girl was safe, and then leave quietly. But fate had other plans. Freeze. Police. The shout tore through the quiet afternoon like a blade. She flinched, panic flooding her face, and turned to run. Her old sandals flew off, her bag fell with a dull thud on the dusty road. From both ends of the lane, shadows moved swiftly, footsteps pounding, commands shouted. She struggled, desperate, but within seconds her hands were seized. The metallic click of handcuffs echoed sharply through the wind, cold, final, cutting into the still air. She stopped resisting. The world blurred around her, voices, wind, the distant hum of engines all melting into one heavy, mournful sound. Head bowed, She stared at her frail hands locked before her chest, tears spilling freely. A single drop hit the dry earth, darkening it like a small wound. The air was thick with the smell of burnt straw, damp soil, and the scorched sunlight of a life consumed by guilt. No one said another word. Only the faint clinking of chains as she walked, the crunch of dry grass underfoot, and the dying light of dusk fading at the end of the lane. A silent witness to a life about to take a new, uncertain turn. The message reached Hung later that same evening, just as he was finishing a long shift. The phone rang in the quiet of the office. From the other end came his colleague's steady voice. "Hung, she's been caught. She confessed to everything. She's being held at the district station now." The words hit him like a blade of ice piercing straight through his heart. Hung stood frozen, eyes fixed on the empty space before him. The ceiling fan turned slowly above, the pen rolled off the table and hit the floor with a hollow sound, but he didn't even bother to pick it up. Everything around him suddenly felt distant, heavy, shrouded in a thin, suffocating fog. He had always known this day would come. But when it truly arrived, he hadn't expected it to hurt so much. The one arrested wasn't some stranger, but his own mother, the woman who gave him life, who raised him, yet also scarred his youth with a wound that would never heal. He clenched his fists, forcing himself to stay calm. Yes, he was a police officer. He had sworn to live and serve by the law. But at that moment, between duty and blood, he felt himself tearing apart inside. Hung didn't go home. He grabbed his jacket, put on his cap, and got on his motorbike. Outside, the night wind blew strong, carrying the faint smell of rain and burnt straw. The road to the district headquarters seemed endless, the yellow streetlights sliding past, one after another, fading into the darkness behind him. And in that ride, memories of his childhood began flooding back. His mother carrying him to school in the rain, mending his torn shirt, and then later, the same mother screaming and driving him out of the house when she learned he loved Hoài Ca. The images tangled and collided until his chest tightened, and he could barely breathe. By the time he arrived, it was almost midnight. The compound was silent, lit only by dim lights along the corridor. Hung sat motionless behind the wheel for a long while, staring at the faint glow ahead. A young officer stepped out and saluted him gently. "Officer Hung, she's in cell number 3. If you'd like to see her, I'll inform the night guard." Hung nodded, his voice low and rough. "Thank you." His footsteps echoed softly on the cold tile floor. The air was thick, the metallic scent of iron bars, damp walls, and the chill of confinement. When the iron door opened, the dim light inside spilled across the floor in a pale yellow hue. She sat in a corner, her thin shoulders trembling, clutching the thin prison jacket around her. Her gray hair was tangled, her hollow eyes filled with fear and despair. When she saw Hung step inside, she trembled. The cup in her hand tilted, spilling water down her wrist. "Son, you came?" Her voice cracked, shaking like a whisper lost in the night. Hung sat down across the iron bars, staring at that hollow face for a long time. There was no anger left in him now, only a deep, quiet sorrow. "Mother," he spoke softly, voice breaking with restraint. "I'm not angry anymore. But you have to face what you've done. The law will be fair. And if you truly regret it, there will still be a chance for you to start over." She said nothing, only looked at him, tears welling up, lips trembling as if words were trapped inside. Her frail hands reached out to the bars, the bones pale beneath the weak light. Tears streamed down her face, falling onto the cold concrete floor. Their eyes met, his, steady but full of pain, hers, drowning in remorse and the weight of too late repentance. The room was so still that they could hear the ticking of the hallway clock, the wind slipping through the cracks in the wall, and the muffled sobs she tried to hold back. Hung sat silently. He wanted to ask so many things, why she had done it, why she had pushed them all to this point. But looking at her frail figure, every reproach dissolved into silence. All he saw was an exhausted mother, a person finally forced to face the wreckage of her own choices. She bowed her head, voice trembling, broken into fragments. My son. I know I was wrong. I just wanted to see you one last time. If they take me away tomorrow, I can go in peace. Hung turned his face aside, hiding his tearful eyes. The weak prison light cast two flickering shadows on the wall, one tall, one small, fading slowly into the stillness. Inside him, sorrow and duty intertwined, leaving behind an emptiness too vast to name. Outside, the rain began to fall, tapping softly on the tin roof, each drop marking the rhythm of a broken past, and the fragile hope of a family trying to find its way back into the light. That afternoon, as the sun sank behind the distant hills, golden light washed over the small yard in front of the house. The sound of birds calling each other home echoed faintly, mingling with the smell of burning straw from nearby rooftops, a simple, peaceful scent of the countryside. But inside Hung's heart, there was no peace at all. He returned home in heavy silence, his steps slow, weary, burdened as if carrying the weight of the whole sorrowful world on his shoulders. The sound of his motorbike faded. Hearing it, Hoài Ca stepped outside. She stood in the doorway, a bit of flour still clinging to her apron, her hair neatly tied back, her face glistening with sweat after cleaning up the kitchen. Seeing him, she spoke softly, her voice trembling. "You saw your mother, didn't you?" Hung didn't answer right away. He only nodded, hung his hat on the wall, rinsed his hands in the rainwater basin beside the porch, and sat down on the old wooden chair. On the table, the teapot Hoài Ca had just brewed still let out a thin stream of steam. He poured a cup, sipped it, but the bitter taste caught in his throat, impossible to swallow. After a long silence, he finally spoke, his voice low, uneven, breaking slightly between words. "I saw her. She's so weak now, Ca. Her hair is all white, her body so thin, her eyes sunken like she doesn't have the strength to look at anyone anymore. She looks like she's aged 10 years. She said, she'll confess, she won't run anymore. She only wants to see me safe, and for you to forgive her. Whatever happens after that, she said she'll accept it." Hoài Ca stood still, her hands tightening at the hem of her shirt. She didn't look up, only lowered her head, letting his words slowly sink in. The last cicadas of the season buzzed faintly in the trees, the wind rustled across the tiled roof, yet somehow, the air between them felt unbearably heavy. Hung looked out toward the sky, where the orange glow of dusk was fading into violet. His voice trembled slightly, but his gaze remained firm. "I'm not angry with her anymore. I just hope she truly regrets it, that she finds her way back. I don't know if I'll ever forget what happened, but I know that holding on to hatred will only hurt me more." Hoài Ca stepped closer. Her eyes were gentle, calm, full of quiet strength. She sat beside him, resting a hand softly on his shoulder, and said in a voice both tender and resolute, "I understand. Your mother is only human, Hung. Everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes anger and hate blind us. Even though she hurt me deeply, if today she truly wants to change, I'll forgive her." She paused, looking at him. In her eyes, there was no bitterness, only serenity, warmth, and compassion. Her words were light as the evening breeze, yet somehow they eased every wound in Hung's heart. He looked up, his eyes red, voice shaking. "Thank you. You're more forgiving than I am. I don't know if I'd have the strength to go on without you." Hoài Ca smiled, a soft, radiant smile, like sunlight after the rain. "Don't thank me. I'm only following what my heart tells me. I believe that if we live with kindness, even the deepest wounds will someday heal." She leaned her head gently on his shoulder. They sat together in silence, as the scent of tea and burning straw drifted lazily through the wind. The sky deepened to a bluish gray, tiny stars beginning to shimmer, their reflections glinting on the still surface of the pond. The crickets chirped beneath the grass, the beetle leaves rustled softly, forming a faint, melancholic symphony of the evening. Hung tightened his hand around hers, his gaze softening. In that moment, he understood clearly, no matter how dark the past had been, as long as there was faith, compassion, and forgiveness, people could always find a way to begin again. They sat like that for a long time, saying nothing more. Only the sunset slowly faded from the ground, leaving behind faint traces of golden light. The closing of one long day. And the quiet beginning of a new one. On the morning of the trial, the sky was overcast and the wind blew hard. The district courthouse stood along the main road, lined with tall beetle palms swaying in the gusts, their rustling leaves sounding like whispers of farewell. Hung arrived early, his uniform neat and pressed, his face calm to the point of coldness, yet his eyes carried a deep, silent sorrow. He didn't sit in the section reserved for police officers. Instead, he chose a seat in the very back, quietly watching the front of the courtroom, where his mother sat waiting for judgment. She was escorted in, frail, thin, walking slowly. Her old, oversized shirt hung loosely on her frame. The courtroom light cast over her wrinkled, exhausted face and red-rimmed eyes that had not known sleep for nights. When asked to stand and testify, she bowed her head, her voice hoarse and trembling. "Your Honor. I admit everything. I was wrong. I have no excuses. I only hope for a chance to make amends, so that my son will no longer have to feel ashamed of his mother." The room fell completely silent. Only the faint scratching of the clerk's pen echoed in the air, mixing with the whistling wind through the windows, and somewhere, a quiet sigh from a spectator. Hung lowered his head, his cold hands clasped tightly together. Sweat beaded on his forehead. He wanted to stand up, to speak, but his throat closed, words dying before they could form. Just as the judge was about to deliver the verdict, the back door creaked open. All eyes turned toward it. Hoài Ca stepped inside, a folded piece of paper in her hands, her handwriting delicate yet firm. She walked slowly, each step measured, her face calm but her eyes deep with compassion, the kind only those who have truly forgiven can hold. Approaching the bench, she spoke gently but clearly. "Your Honor, I am the victim in this case. I would like to submit a request for leniency toward Mrs. Tran Th. I only hope she will have the chance to make things right. Because, after all, she is the mother of the man I love." Her words carried softly through the room, light, yet powerful. The courtroom fell silent once more. Some people raised their hands to wipe their eyes, others lowered their heads in quiet emotion. At the defendant's stand, Mrs. H. broke down, her shoulders shaking uncontrollably. She tried to lift her head to look at Hoài Ca, her lips trembling without sound, tears flowing freely down her face. Hung lifted his gaze and saw his wife, that gentle, small woman standing before the court, under the scrutiny of so many eyes, yet unwavering in her choice of forgiveness over resentment. His vision blurred, his heart tightened painfully in his chest. After deliberation, the presiding judge announced, "Considering that the defendant has confessed, shown genuine remorse, and particularly in light of the victim's request for leniency, the court sentences the defendant to 7 years in prison, with a reduction of half the term in accordance with the law's leniency policy." The gavel struck once, a sharp thud echoing across the large chamber. The overhead lights glimmered on the tears still glistening on the old woman's cheeks. She turned, searching the crowd, and found Hung, standing there, his eyes red but his expression strangely peaceful. And Hoài Ca, she bowed her head slightly, her lips pressed together as silent tears fell onto the petition in her hands. Its ink still wet, sealing the end of an old chapter with the gentle mark of forgiveness. As she was led to the transport van to begin her sentence, the old woman walked slowly, each step dragging behind it the weight of a lifetime filled with mistakes and bitterness. Her thin, trembling hands bore the cold imprint of steel cuffs biting into her wrists. The last rays of sunlight slanted through the courthouse windows, falling across her gaunt, weary face, once stern and fierce, now reduced to a frail map of wrinkles and dim, tearful eyes. Her footsteps echoed softly across the courtyard, mingling with the faint metallic clink of her handcuffs. The sound was dry, hollow, like the ticking of a clock counting down the years of her coming imprisonment. 2 officers walked beside her, faces solemn, while the silent crowd watched on. No one spoke. Yet in their eyes shimmered a quiet storm of emotions, pity, sorrow, and a deep, unspoken reflection on the price of one's wrongs. Outside, the wind drifted gently through the tall beetle palms, their rustling leaves whispering a wordless farewell. The pale sky stretched above, clouds dissolving into the soft gold of sunset that bathed the courtyard steps in light. As the old woman reached the final stair, she stopped. A gust of wind blew, stirring the folds of her prisoner's uniform. She turned, slowly, trembling, summoning what little courage remained in her to look back one last time. Her eyes found the crowd, and there, Hung stood. In his crisp police uniform, his face stern but his gaze filled with pain. Beside him stood Hoài Ca, her small frame poised, her expression calm yet deeply tender. In her hand she still held the petition she had submitted to the court, a fragile piece of paper that had silenced an entire courtroom. In that moment, time seemed to stop. Between them, there was no longer guilt or anger, only a heavy, wordless stillness filled with sorrow, regret, and an unspoken compassion. A single tear slipped from the old woman's eye, falling to the cold ground and shattering. She did not weep aloud, she only bowed her head, her lips trembling, her vision blurring with tears. And within those eyes, behind the haze of age and exhaustion, a faint light of repentance flickered to life. Fragile, but real. Hung watched his mother, his throat tightening. In his mind flashed the memories of his childhood, of her carrying him across streams, taking him to school, and later, being the one who had hurt the woman he loved most. Every memory collided at once, squeezing his chest with pain. But when he saw that tear fall, all resentment dissolved away, leaving only boundless compassion, pity for a mother who had lost herself in her own twisted form of love. He drew in a deep breath, his voice low and rough. Maybe, this is truly the beginning, for her, and for us. Hoài Ca turned to him, her eyes glistening with warmth. She looked at him, then toward the van about to depart. A faint smile touched her lips, soft as the wind. Yes, the past is over now, Hung. What's left is the path of forgiveness, and hope. Her words drifted into the evening air, warm, sad, and final, like a gentle farewell. Hung stood still, then nodded quietly. He took her hand, small, yet strong, the same hand that had carried him through every storm and wound of his life. Together, they watched the vehicle roll away, its engine's echo fading into the distance. The sunlight spread across the courtyard, golden as honey. Their shadows merged on the ground, stretching long in the fading light of dusk. The wind carried the scent of dry straw and beetle flowers, brushing softly against their skin, teasing a few loose strands of Hoài Ca's hair. In the distance, flocks of birds soared homeward, chirping brightly against the orange sky. The world around them was serene, as if nature itself wished to close a painful chapter and open a new one. They stood there, silent. No words were needed, only the quiet warmth between them, and the shared belief that after every storm, the sky will clear again. Down the small road leading to the fields, the last light of day slowly faded. But within their hearts, another light began to rise. The light of forgiveness, love, and a new beginning. Stay tuned for the next episodes on my channel. To continue following Hoài Ca and Hung on their journey of forgiveness, love, and hope. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts. And hit the like button to support me and give me more motivation to keep telling their story. Thank you all so much for your love and support. See you in the next episode.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình đang edit video và mình đang edit để hoàn thành những bước cuối cùng. Hiện tại thì mình đang xuất phụ đề rồi. Mình chỉ cần tạo xong phụ đề, sau đó là mình sẽ nối video 1 phút ở đuôi như thế này vô, nữa là mình sẽ đăng tải lên Facebook. Mình xin lỗi, mình đăng tải lên YouTube để cho mọi người cùng xem. Cảm ơn mọi người rất là nhiều vì thời gian qua mọi người đã luôn bên cạnh ủng hộ cho kênh mình, và mong rằng mọi người sẽ tiếp tục ủng hộ cho kênh mình trong những video tiếp theo. Và nếu như mà mọi người yêu quý kênh mình cũng như yêu quý Hoài Ca và Hùng thì hãy đón xem nhé. Cảm ơn ơn mọi người rất là nhiều. Hẹn gặp lại mọi người trong những video sau. Bye bye.